Hey guys, it's Mooty here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how you can chain shinies via fishing, because I believe that this method still works in ORAS. I did a video on this last year for X and Y where I showed that chaining Pokemon in the water with succession did guarantee a higher shiny rate, and a lot of people confirmed it, and even now there are people trying to still confirm whether or not this is true. But I still believe that since ORAS seems to use similar mechanics to X and Y in terms of shinies, I think that it still works. So last night I decided to test it out by trying to find a good fishing spot and chaining for Pokemon, and there are a couple criteria you're gonna have to satisfy before you go chaining. The first, obviously, you're going to need to have a rod to fish in. This is only for fishing, so as long as you have a rod for fishing, you'll be fine. I do have a video showing where to get all the rods. Well, not all the rods. I have a video showing where to get the good rod and the super rod. And you get the old rod fairly early on in the game, so I think you shouldn't have a problem with that. But yeah, first thing you need is a rod, and the rod also determines what Pokemon you'll be catching with the rod. So let's say you're surfing into I'm doing this in Mootypwns, so I'm trying to chain Magikarp, which doesn't matter what rod I use here because Magikarp are the only thing that you can catch. But if you're trying to chain like near Moss Deep or something, you're gonna experience different Pokemon like Welmer and maybe Love Disc if you're doing it in Evergrande City. Then those rods also determine the type of Pokemon that you'll be seeing, so you're gonna have to look that up and make sure that you're chaining the Pokemon via the type of rod that you're trying to go for. So that's the first criteria. The second criteria you're gonna have to do is get a Suction Cups Pokemon. In ORAS, I think the only Pokemon that you can actually get within the game that has Suction Cups is Cradilly, so you may have to transfer over a Pokemon from X and Y or trade someone who has a Suction Cups, either Malamar or Inkay. Not a lot of Pokemon do have Suction Cups, but Suction Cups does it guarantees that you won't miss a bite. So if you're chaining and you miss a bite, that breaks your chain. If you're chaining and you reel in too fast or too slow, that breaks your chain. So you have to continue reeling in succession. So having a Suction Cups Pokemon first in your party helps you with that. I believe it can be fainted. Then another thing, if you really want to go for natures instead of Suction Cups, you can run Synchronize on your Pokemon, and that guarantees a 50% chance of the nature of that Pokemon being the nature of the Pokemon you're going to run into. And then obviously you're going to want to have enough Pokeball to try and catch the Pokemon that you're chaining. So other than that, the concept is really simple. It requires a lot of patience. It's never guaranteed with any sort of shiny chaining, but it does increase the odds greatly, and I caught this after I think about like 20 to 30 tries. So this all in all took me 10 minutes until I ran into a shiny, so it did not take me that long at all. And Magikarp, not the worst thing in the world if you're going for Gyarados, so as long as you know the areas to chain in, you have to try and also find a closed off space if you want a better chance of having all of your nibbles be successful, because if you don't, then if your nibbles aren't successful, then that breaks the chain. So hopefully this helps you guys. It's very similar to my video last year, which I will link. It does have a bit more information, but hopefully this works for you guys, and good luck chaining these shinies.